Rota is seen losing in a game of poker against Mary, and lost his social status and became indebted to her, as well as becoming her personal pet in the process, and as a punishment, is treated as a slave by his schoolmates. He is used as a stool by Mary, and is desperate. What did Netflix mean by this when they didn't do it just once, but they did it twice with characters of Kakegurui, changing them from Asian characters to a person of color, and actually having them in a position where they are basically slaves. And when you take a hard look at the trailer of the live action of Kakegurui, you actually start to see things that more or less hint at what this story is going to be mostly about. Now, I don't like to go down this this route of conversation, but it's very clear what's going on now with the live action of Kakegurui. It's being used as a vessel for a political message. Or it seems to be that. I could be wrong. I could be looking too deep into it. But there is definitely correlation with changing the characters from, let's say, an Asian character and putting a person of color in a position of enslavement, and having it not just happen with one character, but multiple characters, and then having literally a scene within the trailer like this. Like, you're not telling me this was not intentional what's going on here. And now I see what this is being used for. Now I see what the product of Kakegurui is being used for. And I hate it. This is what the gaming community has been going through. Like, this is exactly the same thing. Like, having games taken over by people that want to spread agenda from both sides, clarification, but taking it over with agenda and trying to force a political message. Why? And now the more I see this, the more I just, it all clicks together. It's exactly like the Scooby-Doo situation with Velma, and how Velma was literally created because it's like whoever worked on it, they hated Scooby-Doo, and they used Velma as a way to completely crap on the original source and only as a vehicle or a vessel to be able to tell their own message, their own story with a property that already had recognition because they don't have the talent enough to create their own story to get recognition. And in this case, that's exactly what's happening here. The people working on this live action adaptation of Kakegurui and calling it Bet are literally piggybacking off of the success of Kakegurui just so they can tell their own story but set in the same world and basically turn it into a husk or a shell of what it formerly was. This is so disrespectful, and I cannot believe whoever signed off on this. This is some wild stuff. What's even crazier about this, by the way, and, you know, I'm not even getting into the outfit situation, which I've talked about already, you know, a few days ago. But what's even more wild about this situation is if you take a look to the right of the screen, you will see a video being recommended in my feed called Live Action vs. Anime Kakegurui Netflix Anime, released 4 years ago with 1.2 million views. And if I pull this up, you will literally see the actual Japanese live action adaptation compared with the anime. And even though it's not perfect, it definitely replicates the atmosphere or the character designs and everything a lot better than, let's say, what the Western version of Kakegurui is about. It is legitimately disrespectful just seeing what they are doing to this cast of characters, and the more and more I look at it, the more I just see there is so much maliciousness in this adaptation, that the people working on this, there's probably two motivations. Either it is a money laundering scheme to be able to launder money for Netflix. That's my personal headcanon. But if not that, which is more of a serious answer I'm going to say, it's probably someone that is very disgruntled and they're not really talented whatsoever. They got into the writing room and they realized that they had to write something similar to Kakegurui, but, you know, they can do a little bit different. But they're literally piggybacking off the success of the series just so they can get their series greenlit, because Kakegurui is popular on Netflix. And I'm just... it's gross, man. Like, I've already talked in depth about the cosplay and the outfit designs and stuff, like the mask, for instance, this COVID mask. I don't think I need to get back into that, but it's just, they did not try, and the more that surfaces about this adaptation, the more I look at it and it's put under a microscope, the more it's very clear what it's trying to do. It's trying to do, like, some political message. It's trying to push, like, agenda, and it's like, this has no business being even associated with Kakegurui. It has no business whatsoever. It's extremely disrespectful. And when I see scenes like this, it's very clear what the show is going to be focusing on. And even if I disregard this, we got to talk about just the acting in general. Like, I mean, this alone. Like, listen to this. Now, just look at how bad this one is. They really, you know for a fact that when they did this take, they're like, really? That's it? They only allowed her to do one take? This is like a one take thing right here. Like, listen to this. I'll leave it at that.